Hi, everyone. Hello.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Adobe Live. My name is Julia Masalska, and today I'm very happy to host this wonderful person here called Andrew Hochradel. Welcome to Adobe Live once again. And guys, thank you so much for joining the chat. I see a bunch of people here. Hi, Rachel, Francisco. Oh, yeah.
All
he's
friends,
right
Matt
here.
Valentine's in there. Hey, Shauna. What's
Heidi,
up?
Philippa.
Shauna's an awesome illustrator. She's been on before. Go find her stream.
Yeah,
hello.
and,
hello,
Lucia.
Mom and Dad as well. I know that my dad's trying to figure out chat and my mom's trying to find the link. So hello, parents, if you've made it.
Yeah, awesome to have you all guys here. In about 30 minutes, you can win some super cool Sticker Mule stickers. And it's going to be super fun with the chat and win. And in about 1.5 hours, we'll be reviewing some submissions of you guys for the Daily Creative Challenge. And today's Daily Creative Challenge is super exciting because it's going to be all about mockups. You can submit your work if you go to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. This is how it looks like, and then you can take the challenge right here, and then you'll get all the instructions that you have to follow to submit the artwork. And as you see here, today's challenge is a mockup. So we're gonna be looking forward to your submissions, and in 90 minutes.
Yeah, and we'll be reviewing them at the end in 90 minutes. And if we don't get to your submission today, Sunday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be reviewing the rest of the submissions on my Twitch channel. It's just Hawk.live. Right now it's redirecting to here, but Sunday night I'll be redirecting to my Twitch channel, Hawk.co. It is literally just this on Twitch.
Yeah, awesome. And if you guys want to follow Andrew, you will get a link to his Behance portfolio next to the chat. So and then also you can follow him on Instagram. It's hawk.co. Yeah, I see some really cool work here already, Andrew.
Thank you. Yeah, a little bit of texture, getting a little bit of crazy. We're going to get into a lot of this. This is from my last stream. I keep pointing the wrong way. This is from my last stream. You can check that out on YouTube or in the replays. But we're going to be getting into a bunch of textures today.
It's going to be very spicy.
It's going to be very spicy. We have some salt and pepper here. And as you've seen, we've got a whole bunch of things on our table.
Yeah, I don't want to start taking all the things out.
Yeah.
It's going to be really exciting.
I think before we get started, we should probably, since we're doing a texture lab today, we thought we should get in some lab gear to make sure that we're safe. So we've got...
We definitely will need some...
we got some lab coats. Mine's stuck in my chair, so we're just going to rip it. Got it. Oh, it's got sleeves. All right, so we've got lab, make sure we're protected.
Make sure our eyes are protected.
There we go. I've got glasses on glasses. I love that. All right, so what we're going to be doing today, let's intro a little bit about what I'm working on before we get into the stream. So if we can cut into camera 2. Hey, America, design community. What's up? My name's Andrew Hochradel. So I'm launching a campaign tomorrow for you to elect me as America's MC. In the year 2020, I want to host every single design conference in the United States. We're launching a full-on campaign, and today we're going to be building out that campaign and working with textures to show you how to apply it to your design. So tomorrow at the end of the stream, we'll be launching a website that will allow you to vote for me as America's MC. Yay! It's going to be a whole thing. It's totally crazy, totally over the top. And we'll be riding this train for the next couple months and maybe into next year to become America's MC. If you want to join a conference, Creative South, I've hosted a few times, and it's totally amazing conference. And also Circles Conference, I've done a few times, and that's a great one. So let's hop in. Chat, you are going to be essential to this stream.
You need to participate and help us make decisions, right?
Yes, you're going to be making the decisions. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull this up and take a look at the creative brief real quick. So I built this creative brief, and we're working with a lot of political stuff, right? That's the traditional red, white, and blue, very Americana. but I want it to be new Americana.
Americana.
Yeah. And again, I love texture so much, and that's what we're going to be working with today. And so we're going to be working with texture using this kind of look. So we're using these kind of colors. These kind of are our main logos that we'll be working with. If you've seen at all, I launched own personal branding. And we've got a whole bunch of domains for you to check out. Hoch.shop, you can buy fonts. Hoch.live is where you are now. And we will come back to some of those later.
Yay!
So looking at elements, you always want to look at your brand elements. We are working a lot, again, with Stars and Stripes. Yes, Alexandra, this is a mood board. These are brand elements. Send it to Zoom.
Thanks, guys, all of you for joining here. I see a lot of comments that people love you. So.
Oh, thanks, guys. And yes,
and they'll vote for you.
Yes, thank you. Moving over, type hierarchies. These are kind of set, spend a lot of time picking out fonts. This one here, named Quokka. I had to say that to the mic. Quokka.
Quack.
Quokka is a font that I made. It's available in my shop, just hoch.shop. We'll send you there, and I use it as a support typeface to support other fonts, very small, very stretched out.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. I love self-made fonts. I think it's the best thing ever.
Yeah. A lot of people are commenting on the fact that I use the light theme. I do. I like to work on artboards, and then I just kind of fill the entire thing, and I like the light theme. So these are some inspirations from other things that I found that we're going to try to... oh, Tim, you found it. Tim, you found it. We were going to launch that till tomorrow. But we'll talk about that site tomorrow. That's going to be our big surprise. I've done a lot of secret work. So yes, it's named after the animal.
Cool.
So looking at these inspirations, a lot of kind of markups, pens, a lot of textures, overlays, tons of multiplies. And then these are some designers that I wanted to highlight that are kind of inspiration for this. Bethany Heck is an absolute legend, does amazing type. And Bethany is a great inspiration. And I really like what she's doing here with these gradient maps. We'll get into that and kind of show you how to do that.
That's amazing. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah. Doc Reed is an awesome illustrator. He'll actually be on the stream in a couple weeks. I'm not sure about the dates, but he'll be in a couple weeks, and he's actually going to be doing some illustrations live for the campaign.
Amazing.
So he's going to be joining us in the campaign. He's an amazing illustrator, and he'll be making some stuff. Alex Casillas is the other person that I took inspiration from. He's a photographer. Please follow him on Instagram. He's an absolute legend. His work's awesome. He did all the photography for this campaign.
Oh my God, these photos. I'm just so looking forward to.
Wait till we get the photos, guys. That's great. So Matt Dawson down here. Matt Dawson is an amazing designer, runs Crop Conference, and he does a lot of cool badges. So I want to make some badges, stampy, very kind of stampy. And then Josh Arisa, incredible illustrator. Josh does some amazing texture work. A lot with dissolves and a lot with grains. We'll get into that today, show you how to do that. He's actually doing a giveaway of this print on his Instagram, so you can go check that out, Josh Arisa. And then, of course, the legendary Hoodspa Design. They've been on the stream a few times. You can go watch it. But their texture and use of texture on type is incredible. And we're going to be kind of showcasing that. And if you haven't, they have a book here, Freelance and Business and Stuff. It's just hashtag FABAS, FABAS. Freelance and Business and Stuff. This is an amazing book. You should go check it out. And we're going to be using this as some reference for some textures. They did some really cool textures in here, so we'll use that as a reference.
I think it's cool how like they're writing about all the things that you don't get taught in school.
Yes. And it's so helpful.
It's also about law and contracts and all that stuff, right?
Yep, a little bit of everything.
So, yeah, it's amazing.
So, chat, this is where you come in. So today we are covering textures. If you see this screen, this is where you come in. We are going to be picking what we start with. And yes, we actually, the Hoods and I have a group thread chat that is just Hochradel. Because our names just go well together.
This is amazing.
This is where you come in, chat. We are going to be doing all of these different textures today. We're not trying to complete the campaign. The campaign's already done. Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be doing the baking show where I pull it out of the oven and we show you the whole thing like we created it live. But I wanted to give you a lot of how. Last time I was on, we focused on why, and now we're focusing on how. We're just going to teach you techniques.
Yeah.
So if we can cut to our GoPro camera, we have brought in a whole bunch of different things. So we've got some packing peanut, or some pretzels from my flight. We got some Gardettos. We've got some Trident gum here. We're going to be using all of these different sound effects. We're going to be using all of these different things to be making textures. And you can do these at home if you have pens near you, if you have markers near you, if you're having your breakfast and you have coffee, you can do this. It's going to be awesome. And we'll be making the textures live and then importing them to Photoshop to show you how we can use them in our designs. Yes, you can go online and Google textures and find textures, but a lot of times it's about the theory and understanding how textures work instead of just grabbing a texture and applying it.
And it could be something that you do for like an hour every morning just to get creative, get into the flow, get into the workflow. And then you can use the textures over and over in different projects, right?
Exactly. And if you're into selling online, sometimes you can make texture packs out of these things. And so you can do your own texture packs. I would sell you one, but I'm going to teach you how to sell your own. Please, make money off me. You can send me a little commission. I love that. All right, so chat, let's cut back to our list, and we are going to allow you to pick what we do.
Yeah. So we have different names. What are the names?
Yes, so we've got a whole bunch of different things. If we can cut back to my screen. There we go. All right, chat. So we can pick stamped, printed, spray painted, embroidered, markered, neoned, or pressed.
Or chewing gummed.
Yep, we can. Yes, go on. Yes, or chewing gum. That's true. Chewing gum. We do have some chewing gum that we can use as texture. So chats, if you're in there, vote for one of these. Which do you want to see first? We will go into that first.
Yeah.
Chat away.
It's gonna be very exciting. What's your favorite? Like, what's something that you will be interested in doing?
Yes, so my favorite is printed. As you can see by my shirt, I love newsprint.
You love newspapers.
I love newspapers. I love the type in newspapers. And so my favorite is printed. Printed or pressed are kind of the mix. And so that's my favorite, really. Cool. It looks like we want to go for neon first. Everybody's like, neon, neon, neon. Cool.
Everybody loves neon.
Let's do neon first.
Chewing gum for the win, huh?
Yes. Yeah, let's
Maybe
do some
later.
neon first. Neon is not necessarily as hands-on as we want it to be. Neon is the one that I'm like, we can do this in Photoshop pretty easily. So we'll do neon. And what I want to talk to you guys about first is the theory of what texture is. So texture, when we're working with it, does two things. It's either additive or subtractive. So let's look here at this salt and pepper. Let's clean this out. All right, cool. So we look at this salt and pepper, and what happens is with additive and subtractive texture, the more dark that it is, the more that it will take away. So it's basically scaling values of 100 to 1. So if this is 100, which is black, it's going to knock out that black with subtractive texture. If it's white and lighter, it will leave that and leave it so that it's visible. So what's great is working in vector, it's usually one or the other. You're at 100 or you're at 0. Working in Photoshop and with texture, you can scale those. So maybe we want the text to show through 27% here and 35% here. We can work with that. So let's hop into the neon real quick so that we can take a look a little bit into Photoshop. So let's see if I can recreate that look. There it is. So let's hop into Photoshop. So each of these, we have a bunch of different layers down here. And on each of these layers, we'll be doing a different texturing technique. So as we scroll through, you'll see, here we are, neon. So neon, really great. And neon's actually pretty easy. Let's go ahead and type out some text here. Neon, a lot of times you can do with live text. So we're just going to type this out. Let's do some America's MC. Let's put this on 2 lines. So there's
And
that.
chat and win in 14 minutes.
14
you guys,
minutes.
So stay tuned.
Yes, and if you love these photos, Alex Casillas took all of them, so go check out Alex. So let's go ahead and with this
People
neon,
love this photo.
yes. Let's use the fonts. Oh, well, I did it. America's MC. Let's use the font Flatline. Oh, Photoshop's going to think about this for a second.
Pamela is saying this class is interesting.
Oh, thank you.
You feel like in chemistry, but like crazy chemistry.
Crazy chemistry. That's my new Twitter bio. Yeah, if you guys like this and like kind of getting hands-on, again, most Sunday nights I'm streaming on Twitch. You can follow along, click that bell, and it will notify when I'm going live. Photoshop's taking a hot minute to think about it. It's processing. It's working through a lot right now.
Yeah.
It's going through some time.
It needs to go through these pictures and see your pictures first. How amazing they are. Oh, look.
It's true.
Something's
there it is.
happening.
Okay, Flatline is not the font I want, so let's just do Walkway. Walkway is a very thin font. Usually with doing neon, you want something that's a little bit thinner. I don't have Walkway on this computer. Let's go ahead and add it. This is the great part about Adobe, is you can just go to fonts.adobe.com, and what it's going to do is you can just add a whole bunch of fonts.
Yeah.
So,
And if you activate a font on the site, then it will be activated in all your apps, right?
Yep, and this is what happens. Things are going wrong. I can't find the type I want, but luckily, Adobe Fonts is really great at having filters. So I can find something. I know I want something that's thin, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn on. Where do I want to go? Browse fonts. I'm going to turn on some filters. We know we want something thin. So what we're going to do
And sans serif, right?
yeah, something here. Let's do something that's maybe scripty. Yeah, this is fun. Yep, so let's go here. Am I signed in? Yes, okay. So we're gonna go to look script. We are gonna activate these fonts.
People are suggesting to use Comic Sans. we don't want to do that, right?
I mean, like we could. Let's do it.
Oh no!
Man, this is how you get
It's
elected
your fault.
MC.
It's your
Yes.
fault.
You use Comic Sans and everyone turns on you. All right, so let's use Comic Sans. This is actually not a bad font to do neon with. It's a bad font overall, but not to do neon with. Cool, so we're gonna go ahead, space this out a little bit, and what we're gonna do is we are going
I
to
need
do...
the eye protection now.
Yes, yes. Tim's leaving. So it's great because this is all going to be in layer styles. What we're gonna do is right click here on our text and go to blending options. I'm sorry, in blending options. And then here we're going to be doing a whole bunch of different effects. And where we want to start is we just want to start with a color overlay. And we want to make this, what color neon do we want to do?
Pink.
Oh, let's do
Red?
red. Let's do one of our brand colors.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Which I probably should have thought. So let's do one of our brand colors. I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to grab this hex. Boop. And we're going to drop it into here.
Boop.
Got it. Cool. So now we have this text, and I'm using Comic Sans for a reason. We will come back to that in a second. But so we do the color overlay, and then we're going to start going into some of these effects. So neon always glows, right? It's that glowy effect.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and turn on an outer glow. We want this to be normal blend mode, and we want the glow to be close to our red color. But you always want the glow to be a little bit lighter, right?
Yeah.
Like light dissipates. So you're thinking in terms of the real world, of how does this react in the real world? And we're trying to replicate that using the tools that we have. I love that. Somehow screeches in Photoshop. That's great. So we're going to go ahead and hit OK. And as you can see, we have our settings here set at 100% opacity. And we're going to take the size up a little bit. And as we take this up, you can see it has that glow. But the glow feels like it's like a shadow, right?
Yeah.
It feels like a blur. We want it to feel authentic. And so a lot of times working in Photoshop and working digitally to create real world effects, you have to make it a little bit worse.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes things that are good are sometimes worse. So that's going to be the theme for the stream is we need to ruin the things that are good. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this noise up. And what the noise is going to do is you can see here, it's doing this nice little texture and these little details. And that helps it feel a little more authentically neon. So it's feeling a little bit too much for me, so we're going to bring it down to just a little bit of a glow, right? So that's feeling a little bit more neon. And the next one is we are going to add one more effect. So this doesn't look right? Neon is a hollow tube, right? That has some kind of light flowing through this. So what we're gonna do is that would be an inner glow, right? If you think about it, that it is glowing from the inside.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do an inner glow. And yes, Matt, making things with bad techniques, there's no bad way to design. There's only different ways.
Yeah.
So if it works for you, it works for you. So working with the inner glow, again, we're gonna make this one a little bit lighter. I usually use an almost white version of whatever the color is because we want it to have that vibrancy.
Yeah.
And this inner glow, we are gonna take the size way down. And as we take it down, you'll see that it's starting to grab those edges,
it really
right?
looks like a glowing tube. Yeah.
Yes, like a little bit of a glowing tube. And so we're actually gonna set this to the center. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna give us that light, right? That is glowing from the center. And then again, we're gonna take that noise up just a little bit and you'll see that it's giving us that nice little noise.
Shauna is saying, I missed it. Why are we Comic Sansing?
Yes, we are Comic Sans for a specific reason, right? So now we have a little bit of that glowing kind of look. And what we did with Comic Sans is this. Let's make sure that that font synced. What was it called? Look Script. Is because these are all just effects that we've added, we can actually go into here, and this is still live text.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So look script, let's go ahead and see if it's synced. Oh, it's thinking again, there we go. Look script, low, there we go.
Yeah, you have to sing it.
Yep, that's it, you have to sing it, that's the key. So now we've got a little bit more of a suitable font, and some of the effects got a little bit wonky, so you can come in here and just adjust the sizes as your font dictates. And now we've got that nice little glowing effect, right, to create the neon. So it's really very easily just effects.
Yeah, it literally looks like there is a wall behind you where there is this neon writing on it.
Yep, and if you want to get more advanced, you can come in here and add a new layer. And what I like to do is I just take a very soft brush, and over some of these spots, I'll add some little white hits, little glows here.
So it looks more shiny.
It looks more shiny, and then we're gonna change the blending mode on this to dissolve. And what happens with dissolve is it just makes it a little bit textury. We'll get more into this, but the secret with dissolve is if you make a layer under it and you merge it down using Command E, it will actually apply and save that dissolve. So we're gonna blur this out just a little bit, because again, sometimes things that are right are worse. And then we're gonna change the blend mode to, let's do overlay. So you'll see we get some of these hot hits going on here. And if you want to, you can actually leave this at normal and just take the opacity down.
Voodoo Val is saying, my face is alternating between happy smile and Scrooge McDuck.
Yes, yeah, happy and angry. And yes, Nor, you can definitely make this a GIF super, super easy. All you're gonna do is literally make a saturation layer, hue saturation, take the saturation all the way down, and you can take the brightness a little bit down on just this layer.
And 5 minutes until chat and win.
5 minutes till chat and win. And we'll cover this maybe on the stream Sunday night, but you can literally just make a GIF that blinks on and on and off.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it looks like, right, it's blinking. It's super easy to do that effect.
Super cool.
Yep.
And then you apply it only to the text, right?
Yep, you can apply it only to the text. And again, this is all live, so I can come in here and maybe I want to do Hawk 2020. The script is not me, but this very much depends on the type that you're using. If you can find a cool like 80s font, like a James White kind of font that's scripty and really neon, applying these same settings and using that really makes it so that it is authentically
Or
neon.
you can also just take an icon like a palm tree or something like that and do the same,
Yeah.
apply the same effects to that as well.
Yep, definitely, yeah. And if you want to, again, this looks, it's got the nice kind of dissolve on it, but if you want it to have a little bit more, again, reality, these edges are pretty crisp, and with neon, they aren't necessarily as crisp. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna make this a smart object, and then we're going to blur it just a little bit. And you'll see that that will be the theme really of our stream, is we're gonna blur things just a little bit, right? We're gonna do 0.4s, 0.5s, and it gives you that soft edge so it looks like it's a little more authentic, a little more glowy. And since we have a couple minutes till chat and win, we can also do this. I'll do this a lot with neon, is I'll actually put a support structure behind it. That helps sell that it's authentic neon. And I'll just do a light gray. And I'll copy this a few times and let's do 3. Right, do a little bit of structure. And then we'll put that behind and take the opacity down to like 30, right? So now you can add the same inner glows, that kind of stuff, and it will just go ahead and give you that look. And if you go in here, you'll see that it's actually interacting with these. So it's interacting with the background to help it make it look more authentic.
Yeah.
And again, we can group these. And what's nice about layer styles is we can come in here and I'll literally grab these, just right click on effects, copy layer style, and then we'll come back here and we can just paste that onto the background. Right? So now we have great color. We don't want the color overlay because we want it to be gray. We don't want the outer glow, but we do want this inner glow. And let's make it, I don't know, white.
And with those effects, you can also save them to your libraries, right? And then
Yes.
reuse them over and over again on different things.
Yep.
So it's good to have your own kind of library where you can pick from different effects that you made yourself. So yeah,
Yep, totally, yeah.
it's
So
always helpful.
again, that's neon. Pretty easy. And yeah, and again, this is great to do as a GIF. We see, oh, that's my blurs. There we go. We see just doing that hue and saturation layer with the structure.
Nice.
It really sells it, right?
Yeah.
And you can toggle with making some of these attached to the glows. You can separate your layer styles into layers and turn those on and off.
Yeah, but
so that
like
you
really
have-
quickly, so it goes like zzz.
Yeah, exactly. So you have clean stuff, and we have 2 minutes till chat and win. So we're
Yeah.
gonna do it. We are doing it.
We're doing it, yes.
Yep. Can I make this not a smart object? Actually, let's do this.
The smart object.
Yeah, do smart object. All right, I don't know how to do that. Chat, do you know how to unsmart object something? That's fine. But what was I gonna show you? Oh, chat, I forgot. That's all right, it's almost time for
blinking?
chat and win.
The
Oh, the
blinking?
blinking, yes. So the basic point with the blinking was that, where's my hue saturation layer? Oh, there it is. With the blinking, you're just gonna go into timeline, and it's super easy. Create frame timeline, hit frame animation, and it's gonna animate per frame. So in the first frame, it looks like this. You're gonna hit new, and in the second frame, it looks like this. You can set these timings to
I
maybe.
think they don't see it right now because we're in the.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Here
right
we
there.
go. Animation
go.
timeline. We're gonna do those two, and then literally we're gonna hit play, and you'll see that it's doing 1 second. We would apply that
Yeah,
layer
awesome.
just to the neon, and it will blink.
Super cool.
Right? You can export
Yeah.
this as a GIF, and guys, this is so easy to do. If you want to do neon, go crazy.
Yay,
So
and it's-
let's go back to our list.
It's time for chat and win, guys.
Chat and win.
So chat away, just type anything into the chat and we'll be right back with you.
Yes, yeah.
And we're we're back with the
Chat and
fireworks.
win.
Chat away, chat something, write something into the chat.
I like there's one that explodes right around my head. There
Yeah,
it is.
right?
Type in your favorite texture, everyone. Type in your favorite texture.
Or your favorite color, or your favorite
color.
effect.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah, and literally anything you want to win, just type. Just type it in. Alex Lazarus, what's up? He's from Twitch. He's great. Mustache 2020, love that.
Yeah.
What do we win? What do we win?
100 Sticker Mule stickers, of course.
Oh my goodness, stickers. If you don't
And we
use
have
Sticker
a
Mule,
winner.
these are all Sticker Mule stickers. Sticker
Yeah.
Mule is awesome.
And the winner is Priscilla Nieto. Congratulations, Priscilla.
Priscilla.
We're gonna get in touch with you shortly over Behance. So stay tuned. One of the team members will write to you about your win of 100 Sticker Mule stickers.
You did it.
And for everybody else who didn't win, there's still an opportunity for you to get 10 Sticker Mule stickers for only $1 with free delivery if you go to stickermule.com/AdobeLife19. And it's super cool, super fun. I love making stickers.
Yeah. All right, so the Robzilla, what's up? He was at Creative South last year. He's
yeah?
an incredible illustrator.
Okay, welcome. Welcome to the chat.
All right, so we did it, class. Welcome to our lab. Yeah, this is like a biology class.
Welcome back to chemistry class or biology.
Yes, so we're gonna go ahead, make this blue just because we're working with our brand colors. And we did it, we made one, and so we're gonna go ahead and cross this out. We did neon, change this to multiply. We did it. Let's just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
We did it, guys. All right.
All right, so what's next?
Let's pick our next one. Chat, you are up. Let's pick the next one. Let's not pick embroidered. Embroidered's great. We'll get to embroidered.
Why did
Super
you say
easy.
that? Now everybody will pick embroidered.
I know. I want to get hands-on with all this stuff that we have on the table.
Yeah.
I want to get into the actual lab. So pick one of these other ones, and we will get into it.
We want to get to the spices. Come on, guys. So where would we use the spices?
We
then?
would use the spices mostly on stamped. So
Okay, stamped. Everybody
stamped.
pick
Everyone
stamped.
vote for stamped. Chat, vote for stamped. This is a completely unbiased.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
It's
yeah.
your choice.
It's
but
your
vote
choice.
For stamped.
Yeah, like do whatever you want. Like it's fine. Like everyone's voting for stamped though, so you don't want to be the odd one out. I don't know. All right, I'm making a declaration that we're doing
Printed.
stamped.
I see a lot of printed. Okay, now stamped. Everybody's picking
Printed.
stamped.
Okay, how about this? We'll do stamped and then
And
we'll do
printed.
printed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We have enough time. We have what? Another hour?
Yeah, more
Okay.
than that. Yeah.
Oh, so much time.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hop into doing stamped. Yeah, we want to do the spices. Cool.
All right.
So, talking with subtractive and additive textures. So, as we use all these things on the table, we are going to be looking basically for their black and white values. We're assessing their value, which sounds super judgmental, but that's what we're doing. So we're just looking for the black and white values of these and using that to basically knock things out. So again, we talked about black knocking out the complete 100% of whatever it is, and white leaving 100%. So getting in the middle there. So we're gonna work on creating some very subtle kind of grungy textures that almost feel cloudy, that have a broad range. So I'm gonna move the brayer for a second.
All right. What will we need?
Let's do a white piece of paper. It's just easiest to mask. There we go. White piece of paper, and we are gonna start. Let's start with the pepper.
Yay! Pepper.
Let's start with the pepper.
Pepper action.
All
Let's
right.
spice it up.
Pepper. I feel like a beauty YouTuber. Like, all right, so we're gonna start like using this pepper. That's the thing that I always see is like the
So it gets focused. right?
Exactly. Okay, let's see if it has the protective seal. It does have a
Probably.
protective seal. So we're gonna go ahead and. Oh,
Be
that
careful
didn't
with
how
it.
I
Ricky,
wanted.
be
Yes.
careful.
We're gonna go ahead. Oh, it was like vacuum sealed for. Oh, it's everywhere. All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna tie this back on, and we're gonna have a little sprinkle. If you want to sprinkle that for us.
So guys, this is the pepper right here,
Yep.
right? And we're gonna sprinkle it on the paper.
Yep. So we're gonna
And
sprinkle.
you see, we have some kind of texture going on.
Yep.
Here.
So yeah, let's do a little bit more up top. There we go. Let's do a little bit more dense and close in some of the areas. Just maybe some. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. What shade is it? This is shade C43. All right, cool. So this is, and I actually got this idea from a designer named Ben Stafford. He's an amazing designer, and he basically printed something and put salt over it.
Yeah, do you need some light here?
Oh, yes.
So we have good contrast and
Boom.
good lighting.
There we go. So we're going to cut to my mobile cam here. This is literally my phone. Let me pull it up. There we go. The Hawk cam.
This almost looks like one of those.
Oh, here we are, non-masked out. This is what the studio looks like, everyone. So we're going to go in here, and I'm basically going to stand up real quick because I'm going to get a good shot of this texture flat. And again, this is not anything that is too intense. You literally just want to grab it with your phone. You can do this at home if you're working on your desk. Oh, we're going to infinitely loop. And I'm just going to go ahead and airdrop these to myself.
Yay.
I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing that. There we go. We're airdropping. It's in a million tiny pieces flying above our heads. We'll go into here, into our downloads folder.
Okay, we also might start uncontrollably sneezing in a couple minutes.
That would be hilarious. Just like, and
imagine
we're
the
dying
stream
now.
ends up with us sneezing and crying.
Yes. All right, so we're gonna go ahead.
That would be so sad.
And we're just gonna open
And funny at the same time.
open up our texture. So we have our texture here, right? And so this, again, we're just looking for values. It's not a great photo. If you tried to apply this to something, it would kind of look weird.
Yeah.
So let's grab some of our brand assets. I didn't show these, but I made them ahead of time. So we're just gonna grab this, and I actually want this to be red. Let's do our brand color red.
Yeah, Betty's asking, what about the shadows showing?
Oh, you just wait, Betty. We got you. So, oops. So why are we grabbing these? Let's not do that. Okay, let's just individually select. So we're gonna grab this, and we'll get to those shadows. Because we're just looking at the values, we can actually augment those shadows pretty easily to get the values that we want.
Yeah, Kevin, good suggestion. So Kevin is suggesting you can also put it on a scanner.
Yes, yeah.
If you want to
super
mess
easy
up
do
your
scanner.
scanner, you can definitely do that.
Yep. So we're gonna go ahead and import this as a smart object. And again, sometimes having these shadows of like your hands or a lamp or something are actually good. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna drop this in front of our layer here, and you'll see that if we're doing additive texture, additive is basically slamming it on top, right?
Yeah.
Additive doesn't affect anything other than just slapping it on top, right? So think about, this is the analogy I like to use. Do you ever go to scary movies?
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine you're in a scary movie, right? And you like close your eyes, right? You're covering your eyes because you're like, it's scary. So this would be additive texture, right? You're adding something in front of your eyes that blocks it out just 100%.
But there is just little light rays that can go through, right?
Exactly, yeah. So there's a little bit coming through, but you're mostly just blocking and covering whatever your eyes are. So with subtractive texture, it's like, it's not that scary for a second, and you peek through your hands a little bit. You're like, I don't know. So using subtractive texture adds those little holes and things that go underneath it. So additive texture would be tossing this on top and changing the blending mode to multiply. And you can see we still have all of the texture there, but when we zoom in, you can see it's basically just slamming it on top, right?
Yeah,
Not
cool.
great. So what we're gonna do is we've got some weird stuff happening, so I'm actually gonna crop this in a little bit. Weep. I want a mod of Photoshop that has sound effects for every tool. If there is a developer out there, please make a plugin that just adds sound effects.
Whack.
Yep. And so the problem here is that this texture, again, someone pointed out, it has all these weird shadows and stuff, right? Fret not, my friends. We can add a gradient map. And a gradient map is basically, again, taking those values that we're paying so much attention to. And on this slider here, the gradient map is taking those values. And the 100% value that is the most dark will become whatever color you want it to be. So let's say we want it to be red, it will become red.
Yeah.
And you can see it has these little tones, so you can see maybe this is a 45% black, and so it's coming in with that nice little thing. So we're gonna change this to black, and we're gonna start pulling these in, and as you adjust these sliders, we'll see some of those go away.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So we can see some of those going away, and we want some nice clean,
no shadows anymore.
no shadows anymore. Sometimes you want some of those shadows, but you can go ahead and make your own and do this with the black and white. So now we have this great little look.
Amazing. And we can make vectors out of it super easy, right? Super
easy. We can grab it, you can grab it, take it to Illustrator and just auto trace it, which maybe we'll do at some point. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and attach this gradient map to this layer. We're just holding Option and clicking in between. And we don't care about this later. We are gonna be using this layer so much, but we don't care about it. What we're gonna be doing with this layer is just using it again for its values. So we're gonna come over here into channels. And what the channels does is the channels basically are pulling in those values. They're pulling in the red, the green, and the blue channels. And then here, RGB is just all of the channels. And yes, Philippa, levels works too as well. Oh my goodness, I'm talking so much. Let's do it.
I think I'm gonna be sneezing soon.
I know, I'm starting to feel it like wafting up all the pepper.
I think I need to remove this
yes.
the table.
So what we're gonna do is we have these channels. We're just gonna go ahead and hold Command. And what that does,
this is why you bought the sponge.
This is why I bought the sponge, yes. We're gonna go ahead and hold Command and click on this RGB channel. What that's gonna do is you see the marching ants here. It's grabbing all of the values that are not white. It's grabbing any value that has value. Sorry, white. And it's grabbing those and starting to mask them out. So now that we have that selected, all these values, we are going to take those values and all of the little nuances, and we're gonna turn off this layer. Again, we don't care about this layer. You can see these marching ants. It's actually grabbed all of those values. And it's not like Illustrator where it's grabbing black and white. It's grabbing the grays, it's grabbing the gradients, it's grabbing those small kind of things.
Awesome.
So now we're just gonna go to our nice little badge here. And with our RGB channel selected with the marching ants, we're gonna click on this layer mask. And now you see, right? Right? Oh, texture.
Super
now
cool.
you see that we have this nice little texture that's coming on here.
It looks like it's snowing.
Exactly. And you can see that it has
Christmas mood.
Oh, Christmas. I love Christmas. You can see that we're picking up these slight grays. We're picking up some more dents. And
it
here
actually looks like salt too.
Yeah, exactly.
And we
it's
use
got
pepper.
These little pieces. We use pepper, yep. And so if we zoom out without that detail, we've got these nice little pieces, right? And so now to achieve a little bit more of that stamped texture, because that was the one that we voted for, and yes, nor using salt is really great as well.
On black paper though.
On black paper, yes. So now is where we've done a lot of non-destructive workflow stuff. People talk about, I'm leaving everything editable. This is where we get the most destructive. This is where there's no turning back. This is where you push into the texture and you just go as much as you can. So what we're gonna do is we are going to go ahead and rasterize this. And as we rasterize this, we actually want to make a copy of this. And on our lower level, we had done the dissolve before with some other things, but dissolve actually, dissolve on something like this will start to give you that edge. And with dissolve, the more that you blur, the more that it dissolves. So we're gonna take this layer underneath layer selected, and we're just gonna start blurring that out. And what it's gonna do with our dissolve is you'll see it's starting, it never stops. It's starting to give us this nice little dissolve, right?
Yeah, it's like the imperfections. When you're making a stamp, it's never perfect, right?
Exactly, yeah. And so, yeah, as you're stamping something or pressing something, it's never quite perfect. It gives you those little pieces. And so we're gonna go ahead and apply that. And again, with the dissolve, what's great is dissolve, if you create a layer under it and you merge them, it keeps that dissolve. So we're gonna do just that. We're gonna create a layer under it, just a blank layer, and we're gonna merge it down.
Yeah, and it applied this effect not only on the edge of the stamp, but also inside the effect that we have, right?
Yeah. So it helps make it look a little more gradual. And this type is not pulling that through because I didn't mask it out. Which is fine, yeah.
No, it will stand out better, so it's good.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and filter. And again, sometimes things that are right are worse. So this is too tight for me on this bleed. So we're just gonna set it to 0.4. 0.4 is my go-to because it blurs it just enough to give you that weird edge. So now you can see we've got this nice stamped texture.
Boop.
Right? Boop. And I'm gonna go ahead and come in here and let's not do that. I'm not gonna do that thing. So now we have this nice stamped texture and it's got these nice little edges happening here. And what's great is now that we have this badge, we can turn off the background. And look at that. It's right.
You can put it on any photo, anything.
Yeah, we can apply it to anything. And the best part is we can come in here. We can shrink this down a bit. And we can just go to image. We can go to edit. I lied. Define brush preset. And let's set this to MC stamp.
Boop.
And what it's gonna do is now we have a stamp of it.
Oh yeah.
So if I make a new document.
I'm feeling the pepper in my throat.
Too, that's why I'm drinking so much water. So now we've made a stamp of that super easily. And as we stamp it in.
Oh, you can stamp your photos now. You can put a stamp on your photo.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Let's put it on our photo. That's the whole reason we're doing this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is our stamp?
You can put it on your forehead.
Yes, let's definitely do that. So we have our stamped. I'm just gonna make this white.
Whoop.
I think our adjustment layer.
That's pretty cool.
Still on. Yeah. So let's definitely stamp it on my head. Yes. So now we have a nice stamp.
This looks legit now.
Yeah, it looks great.
You look like you have a quality stamp.
Yes, yes, I am a quality product. So now we have all these little pieces here, still pulling through. And what we're gonna do, yes. Oh, actually, I need to undo that because I stamped it right on there. Let's go ahead and stamp that.
Hey, so what is it with your last name? Your ancestors, were they from Germany?
Yes, my family is from Germany. I'm not German. I was adopted. I am actually Moroccan.
Oh, wow.
I did the Ancestry.com thing, and it was like Moroccan and like Middle Eastern and like a little bit of everything.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
So the next thing that we want to do, and this is a little bonus for all y'all, is Alice Casillas, the photographer for this, does some amazing gradient maps, and I wanted to show you how to do those because they are so good. So what we want to do is I don't actually like the tones in my face. Going back to beauty YouTube, I've got some imperfections, I've got some facial marks, so we're just gonna go ahead and blur these with a full coverage gradient map.
Put some foundation on it.
Yeah, some translucent setting powder. So we'll go in here, and this is a really great tool. Again, you just go into the adjustment layers? That's what they're called, yes. Adjustment layers, gradient map.
Wow.
That did a thing. And so what we're gonna do is we're coming in here, and instead of looking at values, we're actually doing the colors. So we're gonna come in here, and we want to make all the dark parts red. Actually, let's make them blue, since that's our darker color. We're gonna come back in here and grab our hex code. We can probably pull that from libraries, but we're just pulling it here. We're gonna paste that in. Got it. So now you can see, right, that it's starting to become a thing. It's starting to look like It's a thing.
Yeah.
Yes, gradient maps. I love that, Philippa. So we're doing the gradient maps, and we want it to go from this blue to this white, but I want to get a little bit crazy and do something in the middle, right? So instead of just doing like a black and white with a color, I want to get crazy. And I learned this from Alex Casillas doing this work. Please follow him on Instagram. We're talking about him a lot. But if you go ahead and drop a second color in the middle, it's going to take these grays and push them to red.
Oh.
So if you use the values of a very dark color, a mid color, and a light color, you can create these crazy, crazy looks on some of these photos.
That's a really good tip.
And as you slide these, it's basically going to take the grays, a little bit more of the grays, or we can push the whites a little bit brighter.
And it's really easy. You just add one more color. That's it, right?
Yep, you just add one more color. And if you want to, you can add a little bit of a lighter color to do another one. Add another one in here. Oh, I'm glowing. And do maybe
You're burning. You're on fire.
a lighter red, or maybe we want to add like
wow.
green to it, make it really crazy. Is adding in that third color, again, will just gradiate between the dark color
Now
and
this is
mid-colors.
neon.
This is neon. We
neon.
should have used this for the neon one. So we're gonna pull that out, and now
this
we
looks
have
great.
a great little gradient map.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put a blending option on this brush because we left a little bit too much opacity on it. We're just gonna color overlay with white. Oh, that's my fault. Let's go ahead and just, that's how it works. We'll just stack it. And so this is the way to do stamped. We did it, guys.
Yay.
We did a stamped texture. So let's go back to our list again. How we doing, chat? Let's check in. This is a lot. How we doing? Check in, say hi. I'm gonna take a drink.
Full coverage. Yeah, Voodoo is saying full coverage.
Yes, definitely full coverage foundation. All right, we're gonna go back here. We did it. That was our stamped texture. I love it. Boom.
All right.
Crossed out. Whew. All right, we're gonna get through as many of these as we can today. We'll pick up some of them tomorrow, and then we'll look at the final website. We'll look at how you guys can join in on the Hawk 2020 campaign.
Yeah.
Next, let's go to spray painted.
Okay.
Actually,
wait, we wanted to do something with our paper again here, right?
yeah, let's do some more like hands-on stuff.
Like print. What was it printed?
Yeah, let's do printed.
I think many people wanted to see printed as well.
Yes, Alexandra, we are going really fast. Sorry, I'm just trying to throw as much information.
Whoa, your T-shirt does some really cool effect if you move.
Texture. If you want to check this out again, there will be replay available online.
Yeah.
And hopefully, instead of going on YouTube and just looking up tutorial for this, tutorial for that, just watch this and we'll show you all the things. Yes, let's go into printed.
Philippe is saying drink water, people, so that's what we do.
Yes. Yes.
I also feel
Representation
the-
and hydration.
I feel the nose also with the pepper.
Yes. Where are those Gardettos? Let's whip those out. Half because I want to eat them, half because we're gonna do something with them. So let's go ahead and pour some of these out. We're working with
Should we break them a little bit?
Gardettos. Yeah, so what I want to do,
Let me do this.
is,
The
yeah,
dirty
we're gonna
business.
do like a cracklature. That's a big word. We're gonna do like a cracked texture. So with the pepper, we did a lot of dots. With this, we're gonna do a lot of cracked texture, and it'll make it look a little broken. And I wanna show you guys something called a displacement map.
That's good.
Yes, I'm so hungry.
Are these actually sweet or salty?
Here, they're a little bit of sweet and a little bit of salty, just like me. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna move these super close together. Again, we're just looking for the values here, and think of it as if this was in black and white. So we're gonna go ahead, move these pretty
need
close
more?
together. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Space them out a little bit, and then let's jump back to the Hawk cam. There we go. All right. Jumping back to the Hawk cam. I'm also wearing shorts because I didn't think that you guys would see that I'm not that professional. All right. So let's hop back. Oh, sorry. I need to go this way, and I need to turn this on. Wow. All right. So You can see here that it's got some of those like little white spaces, a little bit kind of coming through. It almost looks like a desert texture, right? So we're gonna go ahead, we're just gonna take a picture of this. Got it. I'm gonna go ahead and close this down so your screen's not exploding. And I'm gonna airdrop that to myself for just a second. Wow, a moment of quiet. That was nice.
Yeah.
I've just been talking the whole time.
Yeah, and we have 34 minutes until the feedback for your daily creative challenge submissions. So
I'm
make
so
sure to
excited for
submit your
feedback.
cool crumble effects.
Yeah, and if you're doing mock-ups, this is actually a really great way to do mock-ups, what we're about to get into, using displacement maps. And so using displacement maps, you can apply things to posters, to towels, to golf balls, to everything. So let's get into using these displacement maps. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go back into Photoshop. Let's go into our displaced. Oh.
Heidi's saying I'm a champion texturizer with these ingredients. That's because I cook a lot at home.
Yes.
So I'm practicing in the kitchen every time. So that's why I have a hand for it.
Yes, so let's go up to our displacement layer. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this gradient map, on this. Again, it's just a super easy way to add a little bit of, I don't know, zazzle.
Zazzle,
Zazzle, yeah.
Zazzle, wazzle, telewazzle.
Yes, exactly that. That's the official term, I think. And adding a little zazzle. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do our gradient map. I'm gonna go ahead and open into our downloads that we airdropped to ourselves. And from here, we're gonna open up our image.
And we're gonna add the crumbles behind Andrew, so it looks tastier.
Crumbly. Oh yeah, we can add some texture behind me, do some additive texture. But what we're gonna do here is, I'm gonna go ahead and crop this in. There's my button. We're gonna crop this in. There we go, and I'm gonna rotate it so we have a little bit more to work with.
Rachel is saying that picture of you is perfection.
Oh, Alice Casillas, all the way. So that's upside down, doesn't matter, let's do it. I can't, let's flip it.
Hi, Eric. Eric is saying good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Eric, where are you watching from?
Yeah, let us know.
Oh yeah, chat, as I work on this, tell me where you're watching from.
Yeah.
I love to see the world come together.
Yes.
And who knows, if the Americas are Hawk 2020, maybe Hawk 2021 takes a world tour.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're gonna do here to do our displacement map is, again, we're just looking at values. That's all that really matters with textures. We're gonna drop a gradient map on here again, just making it black and white. And these values are actually a bit intense for me because the actual material was pretty dark. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this up to get a little bit lighter. There we go. Oh yeah, this can be our
the sound background.
yeah, like the ASMR moment. If we do a little. That's gross. I'm so sorry to everyone who's watching.
Everybody's leaving. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Toronto, Wisconsin, Germany.
Yay, Germany in the house.
Oh, Western Australia. Hi, Brad. I was just down there. Cool. So looking at this, we just want these values. They're still a little too all gray for me, which is nice. We can change that. Just double click here, and then we'll go into our gradient map. They're still a little dark. We need a little bit more gray. There we go. That feels nice. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna save this as a gradient map. So we're gonna go Command-Shift-S to save.
At this point, you can't really recognize what it is, right? You don't really see what object it is. It's just a texture.
Yep, and that's the thing. You're just pulling in the values. It doesn't matter what the actual thing is. You're just pulling the values. So we're gonna go ahead and save. We named it Displacement because we're just going to be using this as a map. So now that we've saved it as something else, we're gonna go ahead and open this image again. Boop. Now we have this nice image. Oh, I didn't save it cropped. Okay, let's maybe save this. I've made a mistake. Let's do a JPEG, and let's do this as the source.
Eric is saying if our outfit is a new thing for Adobe Life. Actually, this is just because we want to have some kind of protection against all these materials that we're working with.
Yes, we are doing a little texture lab. So now we have the image opened, and this is the same image that we used for the displacement map. Same sizes, that's really important to use that same image. So now let's go ahead and toss some text on here. You know what, let's just do a big 2020. What happened there?
2020.
I did something weird. Oh, it's just very small.
Wait, you did something weird. As if you did something weird for the first time.
Oh, I know, that's true.
We've been using Comic Sans before, come on.
What's happening here? Something weird's...
Oh, I think you have to just try
There we
to
go.
do another one.
All right, we're gonna... It's so tiny.
It's really tiny.
All right, here's what we're gonna do, friends. We're gonna just pull it in from here. Look at that, creative problem solving. Again, in Illustrator or in any design, there's no wrong way to do it. There is just different ways to do it.
Exactly.
Cool, so we're gonna go ahead and outline that. We're going to drop it into red. And we're dropping this on top. And again, we're gonna be using...
This looks so crunchy.
Something weird's happening here. Huh, it won't let me paste. Let's try to, there we go. Let's open the source file, see if this does anything different. There we go, wow.
Where is it?
Oh no.
It's really tiny.
It's teeny tiny, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna close out our space.
Eric is saying, hi, Andrew.
Hi, Eric. Hello. So now, just to recap, because it got a little bit crazy there, we took our image, right? We took all the textures, and then we made it black and white so that we can just grab the values. And now we saved it as a displacement map. And now what we're gonna do is, with our layer selected up here, we're going to go to Filter, Distort, and then Displace. And what this is gonna do is it's going to take, it's basically taking the values and assigning how much it should move what we're applying it to. So it's gonna make it wavy, it's gonna warp it to whatever that substrate is. The default settings are usually good, 10, 10, and these only matter if you're using a different size, which we're not. So we're gonna hit OK, and it'll have us select our displacement map. And from that, we're gonna select that black and white displacement file that we made before. So now, yeah, right? You can see that it started to pull these into some of these elements. You'll see that in the areas where it's fully dark, it's not showing because it wouldn't show in that shadow. And it's following the edges of some of these pieces. So let's go ahead and do a multiply. And this is additive texture. And you'll see what's happening is it's starting to follow those. So you can see some of the elements starting to warp here as if...
It's like somebody took a little, how do you call it? And sprayed, like you know when you take a cutout of paper and then spray it.
Yeah, and so it's kind of followed those. And what we're gonna do, I'm actually gonna set this to linear burn there. And now we're gonna do the same thing that we did. We're gonna make this background black and white for a gradient map. And we wanna pull out some of the dark parts.
Dark. Ooh.
Right, so we're pulling it out, and again, just to get the values, because it doesn't matter. You can use those gradient maps to pull out different amounts of texture. And going to the channels, again, we're gonna select the RGB channel, and our marching ants are just selected, oh, you can't really see it. Oh, it'll see when I turn this off. It's just selected those little pieces, right?
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do, we're coming back up to our text that has the displacement map to warp it to what it is, and we're gonna go ahead and mask it out.
Ooh.
So now, right, this looks super cool, right?
Yeah.
Super cool. It's got
Super
like, it's like
cool.
crunchy and like really interesting and weird. But what's even better is if we turn this layer back on,
Ooh.
right? And we can adjust this gradient map back so that it's just a black and white image. Grayscale. And you can see it's knocking out some of these dark areas. And what's actually happening here is it's not showing in some of these shadows, but it is picking up the white. And what's interesting, and I don't know why, and I don't know how this works or why it makes sense, but what I'll do a lot is I'll actually invert this mask. And what that does is it basically puts it in the subtleties of the shadows. So when we invert it, you'll see now, right, that it's just picking up on some of these pieces. So let's leave that. Yeah, let's do a multiply. And what I'll do, and this is the only way I've found to really make it look like it's authentic, is I'll literally just make a bunch of copies. And as you stack these,
it's getting darker and you can see it more and more, right?
Exactly, yeah. So it's starting to get darker and you can see more and more of this kind of shining through, and it knocks out those whites so that it applies only to the kind of mid-tones that you're looking for. We're gonna go ahead and I'm actually just gonna make this white.
Awesome.
Actually, let's make it like hot green so we can see it really well.
Yeah, Fran says, thank you. The word that I was looking for is stencil.
Yes.
When you use a stencil and you spray something through it, yeah, that's how it looks.
So again, if we start adding this in there, you'll see that it's kind of just picking up and feeling like it's meandered and mixed through because the edges are using that displacement map. And then when you are adding the masks, it's knocking out part of those pieces. All right, so that's actually, let's do this. Let's just drop one of these onto our displacement. So I got this nice 2020. We got our displaced.
And we can change the color of the 2020 anytime, right?
Yep, because it's a smart object and we just added that color overlay. It's gonna be super easy to come in here, color overlay, and we're gonna change that to our red color, which is great. And even if we want to, sometimes I'll do this, is I'll come in here and I'll drop another layer behind it that's the same thing.
Oh yeah.
So this is both an example of additive and subtractive texture. That we have the subtractive that has the kind of look that is taking away. And then we're gonna do some additive texture on top of that by just dropping the layer and let's multiply it. Right?
Cool.
So now we've got this cool texture that's multiplied, that's creating a really dynamic look.
And we call it texture the Gordettos, right?
Yes, this is the Gardettos texture. Exactly. All right, so we've got 20 minutes toward feedback. So let's keep going with our texture lab and tutorials. I still can't get enough of this face.
Yeah, right?
There's so much joy here.
This is hilarious. I love it.
Cool, so let's hop back in and look at some of the stuff. I think that, actually, let's just change this to stenciled. Whatever, it's spray painted.
Gordettos.
Gardettos, yes. So that would be an example of maybe a printed texture, using that so that it's a little bit wonky. Let's do something with, let's look here. Let's actually do like a newspaper print texture. So let's come over to, let's just hide all these. Boom. All right, so let's do a little newspaper texture, and let's go ahead and clear this off. What I want to use for newspaper is...
Do you need white paper?
A few things. Yeah, let's do white paper.
I need to take away all these crumbs.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's fine. I'll just crop them. We'll do it in post. All right, so what we're going to do and this is gonna be so gross.
I'm your crumble assistant here.
Yes, is I'm gonna
Moving all the
take
crumbles.
I'm gonna take this.
Chewing gums?
Yep, these are pieces of chewing gum from I don't know Tide. No, Trident. Tide doesn't make gum. These are not Tide Pods.
Trident is when you have 3 teeth.
Yes, yes, exactly. And so we're just gonna chew these up, and I want to use it as a texture. Oh, it's so
Go,
much.
Andrew.
Yeah.
Go, Andrew. Go, Andrew.
This will actually give us a nice printed texture because it's going to be super subtle
Yeah.
and give us those little waves and imperfections.
And it's gonna look super chewy, right?
Uh-huh.
Do you wanna
Alright.
flatten it with something? Or
I can use my hands. Why not? All right. So we have this nice piece of gum.
it almost looks
Right?
like it looks like gums.
It does. It looks like, yeah. It looks like
Wait.
actual gum.
This is just a brain explosion right now. Gums? Is it because it's called gum?
Oh, maybe.
Oh my god.
All right, so what I'm trying to do is actually get some variants on this. And if you can see, it's kind of got, yes, Eric, we got real crazy. If you can see, it's kind of got these nice
Smells
little,
good.
yeah, it's got these nice little kind of like shiny parts, highs, lows, almost like little mountains. And that's gonna be great. We'll put a displacement map on this and it will kind of help to warp it.
Do you want some light on this?
No, actually. I think I want something super soft for what we're gonna be using it for. So let's hop back to the Hawk can. And again, we have this nice texture. I actually want to try to not get shadows in this one. There we go. And you'll see it's got those nice little white shiny parts. And so let me airdrop that to myself and we will get into doing some newsprint headline kind of textures. This will be our kind of printed. Boop. And I'm just gonna immediately throw this away because it's disgusting. All right. We are airdropping that item received from Andrew Hochradel. That's me. My fingers are so sticky now.
Ew, yeah. I still have the oil and the salt from those Gordettos.
Yes. All right, we're gonna go ahead and open this in Photoshop.
Your
And-
laptop has to suffer now under your
Yes.
sticky fingers.
Yes. Oh, why am I not using Lightroom CC Mobile? That's so true. I literally was like, how can I get these over here super quickly? And Lightroom CC Mobile automatically will
Yeah,
sync
send
everything.
them. Yeah,
I'm so
true.
sorry. Tomorrow, we use Lightroom Mobile. I can edit it in Lightroom Mobile too. Oh, I'm so sorry. Adobe, don't sue me. All right, let's
You're
get in
good,
here.
you're good.
Yeah. Let's get in here and we will add, again, our gradient map. We don't care about the looks. We are just getting the
This looks like a
values.
microscope picture now,
It does.
right?
It does. Actually, let's leave it here so it doesn't look as gross. So we're actually gonna do something a little bit subtle because when you print, very rarely does it actually knock out the whole thing. So we're gonna do a little bit of just grayscale.
Hi, Claudia.
Hi.
Claudia's here.
And what's nice is we're just gonna use this as a texture. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna merge this down. We're doing super destructive creative workflow on this one. Oh, I have my gradient map still up. So I'm gonna go ahead and merge this down. And I just want some of these pieces. So I'm gonna grab our lasso tool and I'm just gonna grab this inside part. It kind of looks like a brain. This is the like worst thing I've ever done in design. Like 100%. All right, cool. So we're just gonna drop this texture on top here. There we go. And now it doesn't look as gross. We're gonna
It
shrink
almost
it
looks
down.
like space, like the Mars surface.
Yeah, it does. So I have this great texture, and now let's put a headline in here. Let's do like a big headline. I love using titling for this, or even using like Trade Gothic or something. Let's do the headline. Let's do Hochradel runs for MC 2020.
MC chewing gum.
Yes. All right, let's space these out a little bit. And I always love to do like just big blocks. There we go. All right, so it's kind of a headline now. Let's add these official like lines underneath. I don't know why, but this always feels right for what a headline is. And then let's add a little bit of support copy. So we're just gonna add our subhead. Let's do Quokka.
Guac.
Why not? And if you missed it, Quokka is one of my fonts. You can go to hoch.shop and you can buy it, and I will buy Starbucks tomorrow morning with your purchase. So we're just gonna do this, and he's done it. Really. Cool, so now we've got our nice little subhead. Space this out a little bit more so it lines up. Great. So now we've got our newspaper style headline. And we could do this in Photoshop and lay it out so that it will be editable so we can change it, but we're not gonna do that.
Edible.
Editable.
Edible.
Oh, or edible, yeah. Editable or edible. And we're gonna go ahead. I should have just done that as pixels because we're definitely just gonna throw down on this. All right, so let's put this up here as if it were a very large print headline. And again, we're just gonna be using these values of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and gradient map this one more time. The grays are a little bit too much for me.
Ooh, this looks nice.
There we go, yeah. So we want some of that in between. We don't just want it black and white. We want to have some of that nice gray in between. And this middle slider will slide your grays. So we can do a little bit of gray. And what we're gonna do is we are going to shrink these down. So I'm gonna shrink this down a bit to about that size so it fits in our texture. And we're just going to channels, again, RGB. We are grabbing, and you can see it way better here, those marching ants that are happening around, and you can see it here even, it's marching around the dark parts. So we're gonna go back, turn off this layer as we do, because it doesn't really matter. Now you can see we've got the marching ants, and we're just gonna apply it to, right? So now we've got a little bit of that newsprint, but not quite enough for me. I want one. This font is actually Titling. It's Titling. It's on Adobe Fonts. It's a super family, and there's like 40 different variations. I use it so many places. Awesome. So we've got this nice little texture happening on here. And then what I like to do is that effect that we had done once before is we're gonna go ahead and make a copy. Just gonna merge, just gonna merge this down because it doesn't really matter. And we are going to dissolve those edges. And as you can see, we're already starting to get that kind of like vintage 1950s kind of print.
Yeah, it reminds me of movie posters as well.
Yeah. A bunch of people are saying this is Bayboss. Nope, it's Titling. Yeah, Titling up here on Adobe Fonts.
It looks very similar
to Bayboss and very similar to Trade Gothic as well, classic newspaper fonts. So now we're getting this nice little edge. And again, we're gonna add the blur. And this time we just want, a little bit, 0.4 there.
Awesome.
Right, and now we have this really great kind of, it's been printed over, it's that headline from a newspaper. And especially if we take this and we blow it back up, it's really nice because it's gonna take that dissolve and, oops. I actually didn't. That dissolve, if we merge it down, when we blow it up, it's actually gonna blur it for us because when it's small, it's just pixels. It is going to make that edge a little bit softer for us and really create, right, that headline that's happening. And so the thing that I wanna do is sometimes, so when they used to print newspapers, this is gonna get a little bit into history. Have you ever heard someone say the term like, oh man, I'm all out of sorts?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what that's from is when they used to lay out newspapers. So an individual letter is called a sort, right? They used to have little metal letters, and each one's called a sort. And so when they were laying out a story and they were all out of P's, they would go, oh no, I'm all out of sorts. And it would be a big problem because they couldn't print any more of the letter P. So that's where that comes from. And
it must have been so much work. Imagine putting all the little letters together and
And so, I mean, now we type people, or we test people by how many words per minute. It used to be inverse. So it was minutes per word because it took so long for you to set words.
Oh, wow.
And so what happened is it would be metal plates, and sometimes it would press and it would leave little pieces here and there.
Imperfections,
Yeah, and so this is where we go into using additive texture. And we're just gonna grab our texture here again. And I just wanna make this black and white. So we have our gradient map, and we're gonna go here, and we are just going to take this in very, very tight. And what that does is it's taking the whites all the way, and it's taking the blacks all the way down.
Creating a very big contrast, very high contrast, right?
Yeah. And Samantha, yes, applying those textures at low res, it is very hard to do at bigger sizes. A lot of times I'll use this effect for web, or
you can also
let's
make a
do
vector
this.
out of it, right?
So sometimes, let's go ahead and merge that down. What I'll do sometimes is I will literally just merge these down. And because we're working with texture and it's really like, there's no wrong way to do it, and it's like, it can be crazy and insane.
And there's a very high contrast, so it's easy to produce vectors out of it, right?
Yep, so I will literally paste it in. Can I do that? All right, let's do this. So we've got that. Let's make it a little bit bigger.
Rachel is saying, Andrew is bursting with interesting information. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely very experimental today.
Yes.
That's why we're also wearing our coats and our eye protection.
Yes,
because it can get really dangerous sometimes.
All right, so let's go ahead and save this out as JPEG. Boop.
Boop.
All right, that was a very like sad and aggressive boop. All right, so we have our texture. We're just gonna pull this in.
Massimiliano is saying he's late. No worries. It's gonna be all online. You can rewatch it 5 times if you need to.
Yep. I don't know why it pulled in at such a large. Let's do this. Let's just scale it down to like 20%. Wow, there we go. It's the entire artboard. Wow. All right, so let's pull that in here. It's even bigger in here. All right, cool. So let's make it pretty much the same. So I'll just grab it and I'll come in here and I will image trace. And I actually made settings that are just halftone settings. I can give those to you in chat or tomorrow you can use those. But I will run that and it gives me a nice, pretty close look at the texture. And we can take the threshold up or down to pull in more or less of that texture. Right? And I'm not gonna expand it because it will murder my computer with anchor points. But yeah, it makes it so that I can work with this. And if I need to print it on a t-shirt, if I need to scale it really large, it will make it super, super easy to apply.
Yeah, remember, vectors are endlessly scalable, right? Whereas if you have a pixel image, it's only as many pixels as they are.
Scale it to space. Yeah, so that's how you do that kind of soft brush edge. I use this technique all the time. It's like, I don't know, it's a signature, I guess, on some of my work is I love doing that newspaper texture, love getting that soft kind of wiggly edge. I guess, yeah, it's like a wiggly edge. And so it's really, really fun to work through that. Any questions about that, chat?
Yeah, guys, let us know if you have any questions.
Yep.
There might be some questions, or maybe none.
Yeah, maybe there's none. We'll keep going ahead, and if you have questions, just pop them in the chat, and we can.
Samantha is asking, so you just trace the texture to make it a vector. Super awesome.
Yeah,
yes,
and
that's exactly it.
Let's literally go in here because I'm just showing you all of my secrets. I did something wrong. Let's see. Let's undo that. Preset.
You don't have to expand it, right?
No, I need to open, oh, there it is, my live trace window. Image trace, there we go. Maybe I didn't go back far enough where it imported in. There we go. Cool, so I'll go in here and I'll do my halftone, which I've just saved as a preset because I use it all the time. And what we're gonna do is look at these settings. So the threshold, basically, again, when we're looking for values, the threshold, as we take it down, is doing more white. It's lowering the value that we're pushing through. As we go up, it's pushing in more black. And this is actually really nice to do if you're doing like subtle stampy textures.
Yeah.
So if we look at this, right, you can see these little dots here and little pieces. Where did the hoods book go? There it is, under there. So the hoods actually do this in freelance and business and stuff, and it's gorgeous. They do some other Illustrator techniques as well that they've shown. Let me turn this around for all of y'all.
All of y'all.
But if you can see, they've done kind of around the edges here, this nice little subtle texture and these little tiny pieces. And it's very, very easy to do that as you're working in Illustrator, if you're doing the image trace, to just push the threshold very, very high, and it will just leave these tiny little specks.
And it's only 4.5 minutes until the reviews.
4.5 minutes, we gotta go.
Yay.
And then my settings here, paths I've set to 98%. That's pulling almost as many things as it can out of the image. Corners, 0, want those to be super nice. And noise, 2 pixels. That's saying, I want you to pick up everything within 2 pixels.
Awesome.
Man, people are so not into light mode. That's hilarious. I have never used dark mode.
Yeah.
Cool, so.
Kevin is asking, when will you publish your first new paper?
Oh yes, very soon. I'm doing the research and writing my thesis. I don't know. I want to do a zine with this campaign. So if you're just joining us, I'm launching a campaign tomorrow. Please come back and check in. I'm launching a full campaign to have America design community elect me as America's MC. So tomorrow we'll be putting things together, creating that campaign and looking at some of those elements. But part of that, I want to create a zine with some of my designer friends that's all based about community. So maybe that newspaper or zine will be coming soon. And
that would be cool.
With some people that we love.
Awesome.
Let's see. Which is a better way to export and use for film main title designs? Oh, definitely use a PNG. So if we are working in here, and we actually can totally show it. So we're just gonna turn off all of the layers under this, which there are a whole bunch on. There we go. And you'll see this is immediately see-through. Right, this is subtractive texture, so we have all these little elements coming through.
Wow, and you can even place it on a different color and it will show through the little imperfections, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you're working in video and you need like an image to put behind it, if you drop anything behind this, it will show through. So we're still getting those little gradients. So if you're working in film, doing those kind of little elements, and then exporting it as a PNG, you can drop it over as a main title, you can make a whole card, and then you can still have the motion behind it. You can still have the video playing and the motion behind it, which is really, really nice. Hello, yes, Hector. It's a little bit crazy, but we're getting crazy. Obviously, we can have files half size or 1/10 or 1/20 in Illustrator, but that's a limit to artboard size in Illustrator. I don't actually know the answer to that. I'm not sure about the answer to that. I would love to give you the knowledge, but alas, I do not have it. But yeah, you can, again, auto trace this and it will scale infinitely. What's super interesting, minute 45? Yeah, we've got a minute 45.
Yeah.
Is let's just grab one of these, and I do this a lot, is we'll come in here and I'll basically add an effect, go to stylize, and do inner glow. This is a great way, we'll set the blending mode to normal. And this is a great way to make it so that we have a nice inner glow. I'm gonna take this blur up to, actually, let's set it to center because we want it coming from the inside out. We want it to look like it's stamped and pressed. We can set this to normal. And then we're gonna go ahead and take this blur way down since it's, oops, coming from the center, sorry.
Ooh.
There we go, right? So it looks like it's got a glow, like it's glowing a little bit. And then we are just going to take our same thing that we did. We are going to rasterize this. Boom. And now if we do that same image trace on the halftone, it's again just using those values. And so it's going to create this nice little stamped texture for us. You can see it's got these elements here. And what we can do is we can just drop some noise on top of this. Let's see here. Noise.
Noise.
Where's noise?
Let's make some noise.
Maybe that'll help. Anyone help where noise is? We only have 10 seconds left. But you can drop noise on top of this, and when you do the image trace for the halftone, you can just mess with the thresholds, and it will pull through, right, some of these little elements. So now we've got this super grungy kind of stamped effect.
Awesome.
That's it. We did it.
All right, guys. It's time for reviews of your design.
Reviews.
For the reviews of your daily creative challenge. So yeah, we're looking forward to see you guys in a couple seconds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, hello.
Internet. Come on, internet.
The internet.
Does yours work?
Oh, yes. My
Mine
internet
isn't working.
does work.
Okay.
Where are we navigating on the World Wide Web?
Discord app /channels.
Chanel's?
Chanel's.
I spelled Chanel's. Channels has two N's? Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that makes it look like an iron brand, sort of. Yes, yes. And tomorrow, if you come back, Amanda, I'll show you how to make it like iron brand. Yeah, doing it in Photoshop, you can add noise to an inner glow and then auto trace it, and it looks exactly like a branded stamp. It's gorgeous.
It's amazing. I love stamps.
I love stamps as well. Stamps are some of my favorites. Maybe we'll make some actual stamps. So we didn't use them today. We will use them tomorrow. But I brought something called linoleum block and some brayers. So we'll make some inked textures tomorrow and actually make some real textures.
Ooh, I see we have some super cool submissions.
Oh my goodness.
All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's jump right into it and see what you guys have done.
Wow, that's great.
This is really cool. I'm wondering if you painted it yourself.
Can we zoom in a lot? There we go. I love that you did the like full-on octopus arms. And who is this?
Yeah.
You have a username? If this is you, pop in and say hi in chat.
Oh my God. This is hilarious.
Wow. What a blessing.
Is,
what a blessing to me this morning.
This is Austin. And Austin made this amazing mock-up of us.
That's great, Austin. I love it.
I want this pillow, please. Can somebody make me this pillow?
This is great. And what's great here that you've done, and I can totally see it more in like where my head is you, I think, have used either displacement map or a puppet warp or a distort or something to follow the curve of that pillow.
Yeah.
And again, we only are looking at values when we're doing stuff like this, applying things on top. Is the darker it is, the further back it is, and the lighter it is usually, the more forward it is.
Yeah.
And so it's really great that you've seen that you have followed that curve. It looks like you're creating the multiply to pull the texture through.
And the shadows as well right here. You can see that this part is a little darker, you know?
Yeah, and I love that you've incorporated the watermark in there with the multiply as well. Nice little design touch. I love it.
Awesome.
And yes, Vandam, that is Salvador Dali. That's actually what I'm going for on my mustache. I'm trying to get like all the way out, like full on like cheekbones.
So it looks like a grin, right?
Yes,
like
so I just look happy all the time.
This is also amazing.
This is great, and I love what you've done. So in the bottom there, it's great because it has that soft edge, and you've done a great job at masking just that little bottom line.
Yeah.
You can see that it's very gradual. It's not like a harsh cut, and sometimes that's great. Again, doing things in the real world, sometimes you need to drop a 1 pixel blur, a 2 pixel blur, or go in there and just brush it up very softly. and that will very much help to make it look more real, because if you have that sharp edge, it looks like it's just in Photoshop.
Awesome. Wow, I see the combination of what you learned from Claudia last week.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
it was basically the similar style where you cut off a portrait and then you fill it with different objects, here in this case flowers.
Yep.
I think this is an amazing combination of what you've learned previously and then today's challenge.
Yeah,
so
and
super cool.
you can see here, just where your mouse is a little bit higher, you can see some of that edge. See how it gets like a little bit chunky, like it's got some sizzle to it?
Yeah, true.
So that, if you're masking something out like that, again, adding a little blur to that will make it so that it gradually kind of falls off. Or even where the white space is, dropping white in there and then blurring it so it bleeds over a little bit will help that edge look a little bit more natural, look a little more kind of motion and dynamic. I love what you're doing with the multiply though, and you did a great execution on this.
Yeah, awesome. Great job. It looks very natural. It looks like an actual photo, I would say, with the shadow, everything seems to be.
Yes, and that photo that's in the Discord, can someone please screen grab it and DM it to me on Instagram? I want
right?
it.
This is amazing.
Yes,
Oh,
please,
Tim.
please DM me
Thanks,
that.
Tim.
Slide into my DMs. Hawk.co.
Okay, awesome. Ooh, okay.
Wow.
This is cool.
It's the eye of the tiger. Demonetized. Let's take a look at that. So this is really, really great. And again, this is an awesome piece that would benefit from using a displacement map, like we looked today. So using that displacement map will help catch some of those curves. It'll knock out some of the ridges. But I love what you've done with putting that on there. I love that you have kept the white. It's very hard if you're multiplying something on there, the white just goes away. So you've done some great layer styles, incorporated it, and I love that you matched the kind of tiger face with the color of the rock.
I think it works pretty well with the edges up here. It even looks almost like a tiger head. So
Yep. Yeah, and with that edge masked out like you have it, you could even change out the sky back there. You could do whatever now that you have a nice mask to apply it to that mock-up.
Yeah, amazing. Oh, cool. We have a super cool Adobe logo t-shirt here.
Yes. Yeah, we'll get into this more tomorrow as we start to build out some of the assets to the campaign. But doing things like this, again, displacement maps, this is such a great opportunity doing shirts because those wrinkles are so subtle.
Yeah.
What it will do is it will leave that white and those grays that have the kind of like whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
That looks really cool to see myself on my monitor. It's like when you do the pencil thing and it like becomes rubber.
Oh yeah.
So using those little bumps, using those little bumps, the displacement map will actually catch those for you and it will warp it to the page. And so some of the little elements like the bottom left that looks like it's puppet warped or a little bit moved manually, it will do that automatically and catch those just right. And then
looks
something...
looks like Random Designer is 10 years old. Wow.
Yeah. Wait,
It's
what?
amazing. Apparently it's a 10-year-old person that made this, so
That's
super cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Round of applause.
Bravo.
job.
And something else you can do is we looked at doing masking out those RGB channels. If you make it black and white, you can actually just stack those channels on top and multiply it so that the grays are just the texture, and then you can change the color of the shirt super easily.
Awesome. That is super cool.
Yep.
We have another pillow here.
Yes.
Amazing.
I love what you've done scaling it in. And I love that you've, at the top, the very top, my finger just disappeared, that little curve that you followed that has the little down and up.
Oh, yeah, right here, right?
Yeah, like a couple places. And even at the top, yeah, those little edges right there.
Yeah.
You did a great job at following the contours of the pillows. And again, thinking of something in Photoshop in a digital project looking like it would in the real world.
Yeah, that's true. And I also think that the texture came through really nicely over here.
Yeah.
Of the pillow.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's a really nice,
Great job.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
DCC.
And Tina, full bleeding for shirts. There are some great printers out there, but doing the mock-ups, again, it's super easy to grab just the shirt using that technique of grabbing the channels or just grabbing the texture, and then you can leave your art, mask it, and just drop the texture of the shirt, the grays and blacks and white that give it that dimension.
Awesome. Good job, Tan. All right, this one is by Carla.
Oh, fun. Oh, I love the logo.
Yeah.
That's very
really
witty.
smart, yeah.
Yep. That's funny. Yeah, I've seen.
And it's also in a typeface here.
That's genius. There's like a lot of light bulb like iconography and stuff that I've seen. This is really good. It's nice to see a fresh take on something that like is like the idea and whatever. This is great. You did a great job applying it. It's really cool to see from left to right, and you can see it kind of on the edge over there, that it follows to where it's maybe flat and fully circular, and then on those edges, it's almost completely sideways.
Yeah.
So you did a great job at following those.
right here.
Yep, and again, using that displacement map kind of thing, we'll pull those to the side and really give them that interesting tweak.
Yeah, Philippe is saying those mockups are dope.
Yeah, they're really good. Good job, everyone.
You can get those on Adobe Stock.
Super impressed. And yeah, I love that logo.
Yeah, amazing. Wow, so many pillows today. Ooh, this is cool. Wow, this is interesting.
Whoa, yeah. I love that. I love that you've kind of incorporated different things onto different things, and I love how the color changes onto her shirt, and you've masked the overalls out.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good technical kind of prowess here of a lot of good masking, and then a lot of applying it to that very well.
Yeah,
a lot of
cool.
blending styles here, working. Good job.
This one's by Jackson Pollock. This one is by Ken. Ooh,
nice.
I like that.
That feels real. I would almost, on something like this, because it's so technically like set on there, with an image, I would almost add a texture back on top and do an additive texture, multiplied it to give it that really real feeling. So even grabbing the black and white layer, even taking another layer that's maybe like a knit fabric or adding noise, and just multiplying it on top at like 10%, will give you that extra layer. Of kind of realness. And as you're walking around in the real world, I do this all the time, is I'll look at something and think about the texture and try to separate it out into layers in my brain.
Yeah.
Of like what elements are making up that texture, almost as if they were like glass.
Yeah. Wow, that's cool. I would also add a little bit of shadow maybe here on the two sides to give it more of a three-dimensional effect, right?
Yep. Yeah, and even just doing one hit of a super big soft brush and then setting it to overlay gives you that nice kind of subtle gradient.
Yeah, but it's actually a really good job at the top here. There's a little shadow, and yeah. Well done.
That's great.
Awesome, Ken. All right. Ooh, yeah, some color here. This one is by Cajon.
Oh, this is great. Sorry, the pepper's getting to me, and I was on the verge of sneezing for the last like 20 seconds, and it like wouldn't happen. Yeah, this is great. I love the like dynamicness, and it has like a fun energy to it. It's not a photo. It's like super bright. And I think adding, again, some texture on there and adding some of the lighting back in will help really sell that. And it will also make the bright colors look brighter.
Yeah.
So it'll look much more vibrant.
Yeah, again here, I would also add some more shadow to give it a more like a three-dimensionality. And I don't know what is with this corner. There's a little bit of yellow. I don't think it belongs there.
Yeah, I clean up a little bit.
Yeah, but otherwise this is really nice, and I really like how like these colors overlay each other, and this little shadow kind of gives it like a layered effect.
Yeah, and it looks like you're using a multiply on those, which is always great. I used it a couple times. I've used it a lot in the actual campaign, but a couple times, especially with something that's a red value and a blue value, it blacks out to a nice little black when it overlays.
Yeah, super cool. I love those. You guys did a great job.
Nice.
Ooh,
gifts.
Yay, this is amazing. This one's by Lucy. Lucy did a great job.
Great.
This is amazing.
That's great. The only thing, because it's so great, and I'm totally nitpicking right now, I would watch your edges. So on the InDesign one, in the bottom left, right there, it's missing some of the movement that you have and some of the creases that you have in the other ones. So as you're cycling through, it just gives it a little bit of a different look. Something else that you could do as you're creating a GIF like this is take that and on each one, rotate it. Rotate it by 90 degrees. And that way it'll look like you have 4 different pillows. And it'll cycle through like their individual. And give it a little bit more of like a dynamic look. But
yeah, that would be cool.
This is great. I'm literally just nitpicking.
Nice. Yeah, the shadows have been executed so nicely here.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Great job.
Good job.
I think these pillows actually exist. I think I have one of these pillows. Yeah.
Yeah. Which one do you have?
I have the Photoshop one that's like super fuzzy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, those are nice. The fluffy ones,
Yeah,
right?
it's really fluffy and fuzzy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have the XD one. It's amazing. Ooh, that's really nice. The color looks really cozy. I just want to take it and sleep on it.
Yeah. Narissa Staiku, maybe?
Yeah.
Staiku. This is great. Again, you had a great application. Love that the photographer is tilted just a little bit, so it's catching that curve. I almost would tilt it the other way so that instead of feeling like it's going up, it's feeling like it's going down a little bit. And again, on your logo, I would almost leave the serif that you have on the top right, and I love you have the like photography button. I would almost place that where it's thicker on the other side and make it a very subtle kind of nod, because then you get the camera shape, you get that lens in the middle with the S, but then you have that nice little bump to have the camera shutter.
Yeah,
which is great.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
So you mean like right here?
Right there, yep. Move it over, knock it out so it's black so that it scales and prints well. But yeah, that looks great.
That looks cool.
Just for reference, this is just free information. This type of typeface, and usually the crossbar is a little bit thicker, but having the super thin with a serif and then a thick horizontal, the technical term for it is fat face.
Fat face.
It's called a fat face font. So that's like the actual technical term for it, which is great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't know this before. Ooh. This is cool.
Nice. Are those owls?
Yeah.
Oh, those
I think
are.
so.
I think that those are like there was like this video that went around, gosh, like 10 years ago, and there were these owls that were like in this coop, like doing this like weird neck thing. Gosh, that looks so weird on camera.
I remember.
And so it is a weird neck thing. Well, that's great. I would work a little bit on the masking there. The masking on the actual image, if you go in and you choose the select and mask option, you can increase the contrast on that. Again, sometimes we want to blur things out, sometimes we want a harsh contrast, and usually on images, you want a harsh contrast. Yes, it's like the bird GIF on Twitch, totally.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Love it.
And speaking of Twitch, shameless plug. Oh, here, let's cut to the close-up camera. Oh, I hit the microphone. Speaking of Twitch, you can watch my Twitch stream. We'll be live Sunday night, and we are doing something that's like this called Critique-ioki. You send in your work, we critique it, tell you what to change, what to do differently. I'll be going through the rest of these submissions and giving you guys feedback. So you can subscribe if you want, or you can just go to hawk.live on Sunday. All right, shameless plug. Shameless. Not afraid of the hard sell, y'all.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, let's jump to the next one. This one is by Imitating.
Nice.
This is cool. I love the colors.
That is cool. This is one just because I love those colors so much. I would almost use a gradient map on it. Using a gradient map and just pick out your colors of what your white is, what your black is, and then what that blue is. And putting a gradient map over it helps those kind of mesh together a little bit more. So it looks a little bit more gradual, because I love those colors and they're just on the verge of vibrating. Like they're just almost there.
Great. I
That's
think this
great.
is a really great execution here. Detail is like over here. It works out so fine.
Yeah.
It's just...
And yes,
really good
Jason,
job.
these are safety goggles for our safety.
Yeah.
All
We're
right.
super safe here.
These are great. You all did a good job.
Yeah. Awesome. Ooh.
Ooh, fun.
Nice.
I like this a lot. I I like the intentionality in picking the image because it feels like something that like I'd see in like a Palm Springs like resort.
Yeah.
That they'd be on like a hot pink couch with like pink flamingo things in the blue.
It reminds me of Florida as well.
Oh yeah, yep. And
I just want to jump into this pool right now.
Me too. I want to try to jump through one of them.
And then you get stuck.
Yep, great job in the corners. Again, following those dimensions, adding some of that shadowing. It looks like you added some in the top left, which is great.
Yeah, and here as well at the bottom.
Oh yeah,
Really
great
nice.
job.
I like how you put more of these on the side, and then this one is kind of by itself, so it kind of highlights a little bit this spot where you look first, and then you kind of like look around it, you know. So it's a really great hierarchy here.
Yeah. I'd even put like a white brush, a super soft white brush, and change it to overlay 30% opacity, and it'll help really pop that out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hello from Guatemala. Hello.
Awesome, Guatemala in the house. All right, looks like we went through all of those. Let me. So we have some more.
Ooh, coming in.
We have some more coming in.
Oh, that's so rad.
Wow. This is amazing. I love this stitched effect here.
Oh, they're shoes. Oh, my brain. They're totally shoes. And see like the laces? And then it's got like the soles. That is so good.
Yeah, it's amazing. Super cool.
That's great. Your application's awesome too, but that design is gorgeous.
Yeah. That reminds me of those gummy worms, you know?
Yep, yeah, and it looks like you're using some of the neon effects that we covered today.
Oh,
of those outer glows, a little bit of noise. Can you zoom in on the glow a little bit? There we go. So you can see in those glows, it's not just a soft glow. It's got a little bit of that stippling in it, which allows it to have a little more authentic feel. Yeah, even though it's a 3D render, it feels like it's authentic.
Yeah.
Algeria in the house. Hello.
Yay.
That's a long while.
Awesome. And I love how you adapted the design to the form of the pillow down here. So it really looks like it's stitched on top. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Really great job.
Yeah, you're really good. This is great.
Awesome. And this is by Marcelo Schultz.
Great job, Marcelo.
Ooh, something cute here. Yeah.
People, cute.
Cute. Yeah. This is really nice. I love how there is a little bit of white space around it, so like you can really see the shadows and everything. Even this color was applied super nicely.
Yep. Oh, there's Marcelo. Totally done in Photoshop. Is it just compositing or are you doing 3D rendering? Let us know in chat because I'm interested because that's great. On this one, it looks like you have taken the image on top and just changed the opacity on it to show through just a little bit. I would almost leave it at 100% opacity and change the blending mode to multiply.
Yeah, right here, right? You can see a little bit that the shadow is not dark enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. And especially on where the watermark goes across, you can see that it's not showing through at the same density, and it would if it was multiplied because it's white. It would still pull through that white underneath.
Yeah, makes sense.
But yeah, great. It's a super fun character.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Oh, there it is. There it is. That's the one. You got the texture on top too.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's
this
great.
This is really cool.
That's great. Wow.
You need that pillow, actually.
I need that pillow.
You need to produce this.
I definitely need. Yeah, it'll be in my campaign funds shop, and it's no. I'm not making a pillow of my face.
Oh my god.
You can. It's super cheap to make giant blankets, though. And
really?
You can yes, and you can like print whatever you want at like Costco. There's like $40.
Oh my god.
And you can get like a 9-foot blanket. I did it for one of my friends for her birthday and found like an old yearbook photo and just a giant 9-foot blanket of her face.
Or you can print like a pizza or fries or something on it.
Yep. Oh yeah, pizza. I love pizza.
Oh, awesome. Wow, there's so many more. I almost skipped them. This is amazing. Oh, this is really cool. I love that you used a different mock-up. It's good.
Yep.
Did you kind of like did your research
Yep, and the texture in there is really nice. With using additive texture, which it looks like you're doing of putting it on top, you have to be really careful with using dark additive textures because they will muddle the image. And so sometimes you have to compensate for that, that maybe you need to make the image lighter, you need to add a soft curves that will bring it out brighter, or make your additive texture a little bit softer. So make it a gray instead of a black, or make it a little bit lighter instead of what you're gonna put on top.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I love this pillow. This pillow looks really nice. Texture is amazing. Shadows, everything.
Yeah.
Great execution.
I like it's a different one too.
Yeah.
Fresh little take.
This one was by Centauri. Cool, guys. Thank you so much for your submissions.
We did it.
And yeah, thank you so much. And again, you can submit more artwork. And Andrew said he's going to review it on Sunday.
Yep.
So,
yeah, and if you have anything, you can DM it to me on any social media. Again, we're doing Critique-ioki Sunday nights. Critique-ioki.
That sounds so much fun.
Yeah, we're doing it Sunday night on Twitch. You can follow just here, Hoch.co. And make sure that you come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because
tomorrow we will be continuing to work with the texture that we created today.
Yep.
And we're gonna make what are we gonna do tomorrow exactly?
Yeah, so tomorrow we are going to be applying a lot of these textures that we've looked at to different mock-ups, to header images. We'll start building out actual physical final header images.
And you're gonna publish the sites too, right?
And we're gonna launch the website. We are officially gonna start the campaign tomorrow.
So make sure to tune in, guys.
Yes.
Thank you so much for participating in the chat and being here. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.